definitely aliens out there somewhere.
Why would you say that?
My dad is, I guess what you call like a conspiracy theorist. So I went to Area 51, like when I was a little kid, we actually saw a UFO.
So we got Evan on the ride. How you doing today?
Good, man. How are you?
I'm great, man. Great. Appreciate you asking. You know, I was told about Southern hospitality when I first moved down here. Are you from the South?
No. I mean, technically, but not the actual South. I'm from California.
California?
Southern California.
Yeah, consider that the West, right?
Yeah, it's not the South, yeah.
But Southern California?
Yeah.
It's south of something, right?
Yeah, I mean, South and Northern California.
Yeah. And Southern California, what part exactly did you go up in?
Just like outside LA, like where all those fires were.
The recent?
Like,
yeah, really.
Like the most recent ones were like all in like the Ventura area, and that's like pretty much where I was from. But
Anybody you know out there were affected by that?
no, I don't think so. My friend, he sent me some pictures though, because he had to commute pretty much through it to work. And I don't know if you saw some of the pictures like on the internet of like the hills on fire and like a freeway pretty much just driving into it, like it's
that was
on both sides.
That's the freeway he was driving on?
Yeah, so he sent me pictures and like they look like the ones that were from the news. He had like a video and stuff. And,
that's some crazy stuff.
Yeah, he was there. So he said you could feel the heat like coming in from the windows and stuff. It was pretty gnarly.
Didn't they just see something out there in that area too, like in the sky that was really crazy?
Oh yeah,
Some UFO or something?
Yeah, I guess it was a satellite or something. Who knows? It's definitely the government.
A satellite?
Yeah.
I think it was huge.
Yeah, it looked crazy too.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah. So, hey, there's definitely aliens out there somewhere.
You think so?
It has to be.
Why would you say that?
I don't know, because just given like, I mean, we're pretty remarkable beings, but I think that there's probably beings out there that are more so.
Oh, more remarkable than us? Oh, wow. No, I'm just kidding. Well, first off, I thank you for that compliment. And no, but there was a man. It slips. The person is a famous philosopher. Someone like someone as famous like I want to say Einstein, but I don't want to say Einstein because I can't remember exactly who it was. But they said they had this quote that I love. It was, "What's scarier, that we are not alone, or that we are the only ones, or that we are alone?" You know what I mean? Like it's like it's kind of an interesting way to put it. It's like, you know, to think that we're the only intelligent species in the universe could be scarier than thinking that there's other, you know, out there. So.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, just given all our advances.
Now, you know, it wasn't intentional for us to bring this up, but since we're on this conversation, is this something that you put a lot of thought into, or?
No, not really. No, I mean, I don't really put too much thought into anything. My dad is, I guess what you call like a conspiracy theorist.
Really?
And so he always talks about all this crazy stuff all the time. Not necessarily aliens, but I don't know. So like, I just tend to just kind of stray away from it, just because he's crazy and like he literally tells me the same things like every time I see him. It's crazy.
And see, I don't like to feed into too much because, you know, a lot of people trying to, you know, take their 5 minutes and get their 5 minutes of fame, whatever. But some things that are really incredible, and some of the stuff that I've come across, and I'm a big conspiracy theorist myself.
Oh, right.
So I want to hear. I want to hear though. But not that I'm out there, you know, causing a scene or something like that. But like, I'm not gonna get into Red Sox Yankees, but a little too convenient. But anyways, with that though, give me some ideas. What are some of the things he says?
So, and it's not that I don't believe him about any of the stuff. It's just like he literally like obsesses about it, and he just obviously it's it's all he thinks about because it's all he talks about. But a lot of just like government conspiracies and stuff like just like the Rockefellers and the Rothschilds and like how they rule the world and everything, and they pretty much that's by way of like the central bank control different nations and just kind of,
and the wars,
they're all just
the wars are controlled by
like
central bank and everything influence that. Actually, I've been actually educated recently on a lot of the stuff that you mentioned, and to a buddy of mine, I guess you can say it's kind of a conspiracy theorist along with your father, but it's like an eye opener of some of the stuff that and it's right like almost like if you don't believe it, are you doing yourself to disjustice? Is that how we end up in the situation that we're in now? Because so many people refuse to want to believe that, believe that stuff. So in a way, it's kind of like it's like you're damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Oh yeah, for sure. And that's the thing. Like he just spends all day and night obsessing about it. And I mean that's
do you say he loses sleep over it, or it's just something that he just always tends to come up in conversation somehow? He just tends to find a way to bring up something that like turns into a conspiracy.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I mean he doesn't really lose sleep over it. He's not like out there checking his windows and stuff.
Yeah, he doesn't have a hat made out of aluminum foil.
He doesn't have a bunker yet. Like he has like a stash of food and stuff, so in case shit hits the fan. He hates he doesn't like put any money in the bank accounts and stuff because he's sure that the economy is going to crash like any day now. But I mean he's been saying that for a couple of years now. So
hey, he might be smarter than we think though, to be honest.
Yeah, no, and I don't want to discredit him at all. I think he's a smart guy, and I think he does his due diligence, around all these things. So but like, what can we do about it?
Well, I had this conversation just 2 days ago with a buddy of mine about insurance, and I actually do insurance. A lot of people don't know there's like 3 types of insurance, and one that people neglect to think of. One that people aren't confident enough is self-insurance. Your father is self-insuring his safety, self-insuring, if he might not be putting money in the bank, but if something went wrong, then he probably had enough money to handle the situation. You know what I mean? Where a lot of people, being in a society, I know, especially in America, we rely on credit because we're not, and insurance because we're not as willing to pay a lump sum. We find it easier to pay a monthly payment, even though in the long run we pay triple or double the amount. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
we're not smart enough to spend what we make.
So yeah, you know what I mean? Like he's got his good points. I put it like that. What would you say though? Some of the things that you just can't agree with. Some of the stuff that he says.
I don't know. I mean, it's pretty much all based around that, which I mean, I think I pretty much agree with them on most of it, if not all of it.
Oh, so Conspiracy Junior.
Yeah, but I just don't have any desire to read into it or anything. Like, I mean, I feel like he tells me it often enough to where
right, you can live
your research.
You can live with it, say vicariously through him.
Yeah, he just wakes up, he turns on RT, News Network, and just all day.
It's funny at the day. No, it's funny because he reminds me of my buddy that I just mentioned with the conspiracies. But it's like this. Like I don't get deep into politics and all this stuff like that. You know what I mean? I love to hear about it, but usually I just let him come once a week. He'll stop by and he'll just update me on all the crazy stuff that's happened.
What about the moon landing?
Oh yes. What about it?
So recently he found something. I mean, I've always thought it was kind of fake because I don't know, why haven't we been back since? We spend our money on worse shit, so why not just go back to the moon and
Right.
Whatever, you know, just put another flag up there.
More research, you know, launch satellites from there to even further out.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like the world would be interested in something like that. So why not? But recently he's come across this conspiracy that Stanley Kubrick, the movie director, directed it, and he was like Clockwork Orange and like all those old movies. And something about the what was it, that there was another director, I forget his name, but redhead dude,
Ron Howard,
yeah, and he apparently witnessed it, witnessed like the set and like them filming it and stuff. So it just makes you wonder.
Where did that come from though? Like Ron Howard himself, or did someone say?
I think he said it in an interview before.
No, it's pretty amazing though. Like the fact that, you know, and that's the scary thought about these conspiracies, is the fact that there's, you know, there's the chance that they're true.
Yeah.
You know, and the fact that how we're lied to on such a grand scale as a society, as a, you know, by our own government, the people that you can basically control our lives.
Hey, we're back.
Where did we leave off?
Conspiracy. So one more thing about conspiracy theories is I went to Area 51 like when I was a little kid. So we used to spend a lot of time like out in like in Las Vegas and stuff. And so one time, my dad and his friends, they all drove out to Area 51 and brought me, and it was really funny looking back on it. Like that was like my first memory of weed. I just remember them like sitting in the car because it was a convertible and just smoking a joint there, and it's really funny just thinking back on it now. It's like, oh, that's what they were doing.
Because at the time you didn't know.
Yeah, no, I was. I mean, I must have been like 5 or 6, but yeah, we actually saw a UFO. You know, something. It was like this orange glow. So we like parked. We got there. We got to the gate, and then I don't even know how we got there, but like we got to this like booth, and there was an armed guard like with assault rifles, like crazy armory, like in his little booth, and he's like, "You guys need to turn around right now." So we're like, "Oh, we made it." And so we pretty much just drove down the road a little bit and then parked, and yeah, that's when they were. But
normally they would have let you proceed, or just because...
No, I don't think so.
No, they would.
No, I think that was just kind of like one of their probably entrance points.
I didn't know. I was thinking maybe because that happened, they were like, okay, nobody can go. And
no, they didn't smell weed. No,
not the weed. No, because of the UFO you guys saw, yeah. And then all of a sudden they're like, okay, everybody has to turn around.
Yeah, so I got my order wrong. So we got to that booth first, and then we turned around, and that's when we parked, and they were smoking, and that's when we saw the thing. So I was actually the one that spotted it. It was just like this orange glow, and then it just kind of like did some little things, and
you weren't
disappeared.
Smoking.
Yeah.
So we can know. So we know it wasn't just some good, some of that good Cali stuff you guys got out there.
Exactly.
But and with that, before we wrap things up, you know, congratulations to everybody out in California for that law passing. Huh? You know, your dad, your uncles, and everybody can do that freely.
Woo. Yeah. And I can't wait for that. I'll be there Sunday.
Yeah, I was gonna say you got a snowboard in the back, so you know he's not staying in Florida.
Greeting, Earthlings.
We're about to go scalp them.
Massachusetts owed New York for letting the Red Sox win it. I like sports, but I don't get too deep in it because sometimes it's a little too convenient.
Hey, so what do you think of Roger Kraft?
As of right now, he's the defendant.